lot of people heated over that, man. They ain't like that y'all got on polite like that, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people was mad.
Yeah, a lot of people was upset about that. But I see, this is what I say, because they looking back in the past and some past incidents like, oh yeah, well, y'all just angry, whatever. I'm like, no. If I would have just came out and said I thought the Hebrew Israelite won, then I could see where y'all said that. But I told y'all my thoughts, and then I gave you my reasoning to back it up.
Yeah.
So that way you can see that it's just analyzing a debate. And I think that the problem is the debate thing is getting so large that it's happening faster than people can realize it, and they're not seeing the full potential of what's going on. Yeah. When a debate happens, we have to step back after the debate and analyze it and break it down so that the people that comes out that's watching from all different levels and viewpoints and get a deeper understanding. Because you got cats that's astute, that study, they're gonna get it right out the gate. They're gonna get everything. Yeah. But the audience that's coming in watching, you got cats that never even heard of Israelites before. They just know y'all stand on the corner and yell. They've never heard of Polite before. They might have just heard he wrote 1,000 books. Like, they don't know any of the information. They don't study. So they need somebody to break it down and be like, well, hold on, that was incorrect, that was correct. Well, no, we all agree with that, we disagree with that. And then get a real perspective on it, because
you could check.
The one thing that I saw that was kind of missing from the debate was after the debate, there was no official consensus, not just this debate, I mean the debates in general. There was no official, like for instance, I put it like this. Right. When you see the playoffs, right? Yeah. Anything, basketball, take basketball for example.
When the winner is decided, you know who won.
Well, not only that, but you got the barbershop conversations, the hair salon, the bookstore conversations, and that's cool. But then you also have the ESPN conversation.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? You also have the professionals that breaks it down. I see what you're saying. Now, you still could break it down in your little hood, whatever, but you got the professional breakdown. So we wanted to put the professional breakdown on it. Like, no, this was... From an academic perspective, this is what we're saying. You might agree, you might disagree, but from an academic perspective, and then with the magazine coming, I'm just letting people know that I'm going to do that for every debate. So like this joint coming up Sunday, I'm going to have the official breakdown for Abba and Ali joint. I'm going to have the official breakdown for Seti and the other ball joint. I didn't have their contact information, but Abba and Ali I contacted. You know what I'm saying? Just like I contacted your brother, I reached out to Polite and King Simon, but they didn't return my call. So I got his side. I got y'all side of the story.
I want to ask y'all a question, because every time I done seen Polite do a debate or anything, he's everywhere when it's over with. He doing interviews. He talking about how it went down. Where he at? I ain't seen Polite nowhere. But that's neither here nor there. My thing is this. The problem with the conscious community is that there's a very basic understanding of the Bible out there. Like, that debate, first of all, to be what it was about. We ain't talking about fixing black people or solving the problems like we was just talking about. Right. We ain't talking about those things. We talking about is the black woman God and is the Bible plagiarized. For him to have came with the information he came with shows he has a very basic elementary understanding of the Bible. I mean, he understands the Bible from the white man's perspective, which is the problem that everybody have with us when they see us on the street.
Correct.
They see us on the street teaching because we so aggressive and we so militant, nobody really listening to what we saying. Right. So they hear us say, black man, you ain't no Arab, why are you in Islam? The white man is the devil, why are you in Christianity? But then they don't stop to hear, well, what's wrong with Islam? What's wrong with Christianity? When if you stop and listen to what we saying, then you'll understand how all these religions have nothing to do with your history, have nothing to do with your culture, which is in the Bible. Now, let's go in the Bible and show you your culture, show you your history, and show you your life you living today was written about thousands of years ago.
No, trust me, look, see, but I goes in the Bible all the time. So people that follow my information, they know I go in there all the time. But what I would say about Polite, and this is one of the things that made me critique him so hard, this debate specifically. And so a lot of people was like, oh, you threw that Adrian Bronner shit in there, you know what I'm saying? That shit was funny. Right. But the reason I threw that in there is because I felt the same way about the debate as when I seen the Adrian Bronner joint. It's not that your brother didn't come with powerful information, because he did. And the way he came without a PowerPoint, but he had so many folders and like that was organized and that was crazy.
That's
right
everything
there.
we do in the UPK. Everything is decent
But
in the North. You know what I mean?
that Polite wasn't his best. Like that wasn't the when he came out for the SETI joint, he was much more sharper. When he came out for Malik Zulu Shabazz, I thought he was much more sharper. That joint, I really think that he I don't know, I just think he underestimated the boy and he didn't come. I'm not saying that the result could have been different or whatever the case may be.
I understand.
That's up to argument. Or even up to rematch. Who knows? We haven't had a rematch in the conscious community yet. This could be the first one. But what I'm saying is, that wasn't. Then he came with the thing with the wives and the, you know, because when I watched it with women.
Mm-hmm.
So they was kind of thrown off, you know. So all I'm saying is that wasn't. And I studied with Polite, so I know that Polite has a much stronger grasp on Hebrew and on the Bible than he displayed.
But you have to also think about the genre of information that you're dealing with. Like again, the topic of the debate, again, ain't fixing black people. It ain't.
Correct.
You know what I'm
correct.
saying? Let's just deal with what let's just deal with what the topic was. In order for him to have come with anything substantive,
right,
he would have had to know the Bible.
Correct.
And he does not know the Bible. If anything he displayed that day, he displayed that he does not know the Bible. He does not understand the Bible. You understand? And that's because the people out here teaching don't understand the Bible. Man, this is BlackandNobel, tons of books in here. Nobody understands the Bible that's writing these books. Nobody that's coming up with this information understands the Bible. The nigga talking about we eating babies and he asked the women in the crowd. They talking about men supposed to be the ones teaching and men supposed to be the ones leading. Well, hold on. He said, why would you even pick this doctrine? Why would you even choose this when we ain't never gonna fix our people if we choosing what people like for them to follow? The thing about the truth is, this is the solution, but it requires you to be disciplined. It requires you to keep the rules and keep the morals and the standards.
Look, that's a problem with every religion because the way our people are trained now, the moment you come in with discipline, nobody's in for that part. They like to pick and choose. And then the other big thing I had a huge problem with the entire conversation of the eating babies thing because most people, I believe, they're referring to Deuteronomy, what's that, 28?
Deuteronomy 28.
Right. But see, that was talking about a future time, and that time is now. I done already did lecture after lecture on the road with Ali Muhammad during the Black Genetics Tour talking about Naked, Pepsi, Campbell's, Gerber, and how they use one of the additives called HEK293. Now what that is aborted babies' kidney cells. So when they talk about eating babies, they talking about today. People's eating babies right now. Half the goddamn audience, not even half, probably 90% of the audience that was getting excited about he said eating babies. They all eating babies because they all got Naked in their house, Pepsi, they got Gerber product. They even feeding babies to their babies because they don't know what the context of that verse is. They don't know that that's talking about today. That wasn't talking about.
See, but at the same time, though, understanding the Bible, there's levels to understanding the Bible.
Correct.
So on the surface, eating babies is yum eating babies.
Right.
Like they doing over there in China and Japan.
Right.
They full out eating fetuses, full out eating full babies.
Yeah.
Now we ain't eating full out eating babies. You know what I'm saying? You say taking the kidney cells and putting it in the Pepsi and the Coke. What the Lord is talking about is black women aborted 500,000 babies a year.
Right. And that's the babies that they using to put in the food.
This is the thing though. Why are they aborting their babies?
Correct.
Because a woman want to be able to get a job and have a career, and she can't keep stripping or go to college and make money if she having these babies. When, like we just talked about, we went through 500 years of slavery. We was in slavery, physical slavery, chains out in the field every day. Black women was kicking out 22 babies. So don't tell me you ain't got enough money to raise a goddamn baby. You just a lust-filled whore who just want to get money and keep your shape. Or you a cat that don't want to be a man and you ran in some hoe and you know you don't want to deal with it, so you tell her to get rid of the baby. Well, how about we just stop these women from being hoes and men stop being weak? If you're going to run up in a woman or if you're going to have sex with her, then you deal with her for the rest of your life.
Right.
That'll keep young girls from being hoes.
That's right.
But nah, niggas want to be pimps and players.
Right. So we'll see.
Do this and that to where these young girls is turned out by the time they 14, 15, then don't nobody want to deal with them. That's why they ain't got no self-esteem. That's why they getting that weave in their hair. That's why they getting them fake eyelashes. That's why they wanting to be a stripper and get tattoos all over their body, because they ain't got no way to deal with the pain. How about we stop the pain before it start and raise them up the right way and give them the right path to walk in when everybody say they don't want to use the Bible and the Bible is this and that, when ain't nobody on the planet Earth ever kept the laws that's in the Bible. It ain't like the white man, when he had the Bible, said, we're going to keep these laws and we're not going to hate our brother and we're not going to rape and molest and all that. The white man in the Catholic Church been raping since the goddamn Greeks and the Romans. And then again, when it comes to different people bringing different philosophies, we can go in history.
They just had on the news, they got something new going on with 12 cardinals or something, whatever they call here in Philly right now.
That shit ain't new.
Rabbis here in Philly? Something
that ain't new. And the thing is, it's been going on.
No, right. But it's always present and it's right out front. But for some escapable, it has to be escapable because we know things and we talk about things, but we don't internalize them. Reason, we're missing the things that's sitting right in front of us.
Well, that's why we right in front of everybody on them corners. That's why we right in front and we loud. And
y'all
we
niggas big enough
militant.
to not be missed. Y'all cannot be missed.
Listen, you know what I mean? Like I was telling the brother, the time is now for black men to be men again. The only way you be a man is if you be strong, is if you be firm, and if you be the way the Lord made a man to be. You know what I'm saying? All this soft shit that's going on is why we destroyed.
That's right.
We can't ask the young men to not be faggots and ask these young girls to not be whores if ain't nobody gonna put their foot down and demand it.
And it start
it's less about
and it start when they're young though. And it start when they're young because I remember.
If you change your life,
yeah,
it's natural that you're going to raise your kids to be the way that you want them to be.
Absolutely.
The problem is that don't nobody want to realize that everybody is drug dealers and getting high and being hoes and faggots because somebody was raising them to be a hoe. Somebody was molesting that little boy and making him a faggot. Somebody was telling that young boy when he was 12, 13, you got to hit the block and get this money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget that they the product of what we made them. So now, we trying to usher in the generation where men gonna be strong and firm and stand up, and women is gonna be nice and sweet and loving and caring. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't, the transition ain't easy. We didn't get into the situation we in overnight, and it wasn't easy.
It's gonna be
to go from black power and the black power movements to everybody selling crack and our women as whores wasn't nice. It wasn't sweet. It was violent and painful.
It's got to be uncomfortable.
So, and a lot of people right now don't want to deal with uncomfortability. But you know what I mean? Like I said, our purpose is to try and make ourselves available. And with this whole debate thing, the way it came about, we wasn't chasing after no debates. We, y'all was doing debates. And for Polite to have came up and for us to have got drawn into this atmosphere now, you know what I mean? We want to make ourselves available so that everybody understands.
I don't believe in coincidence. I
believe in coincidence.
I believe the Most High is always at work, putting things the way they're supposed to be. So the debate, and that's why I started to have a completely different view of the debates, because it is really bringing information to a lot of people that normally wouldn't pay attention if it wasn't in a debate format. So if y'all wasn't in here arguing, if Polite Wife didn't ask a question and that little, listen, that was probably one of the biggest highlights of the whole debate, when his wife asked a question and then y'all went back and forth like that. That got a lot of sisters involved and they start questioning things. So we got to get to the point where, like I was telling people online, because, like, go back to the top of our conversation. A lot of people was mad when I put the Polite video out about the debate. We got to get past being so attracted to personalities that we forget what the purpose of this thing is that we do. Because when Polite hit your brother with the 501c3 thing, and he came back with the, well, we use it to feed these people, blah, blah, blah. Somebody commented on my video like, oh, so that means something now because you feeding homeless people? I blacked out. I was like, that's the whole purpose of what we, if we forget that we here to benefit the community, then what are we doing? Now we just two black niggas arguing on camera now. This is all about benefiting the community, so we got to get to the point where we get past personalities and it really becomes a thing where we realize that no matter who wins or loses, because somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose, the greater community always wins, because now we have more information in circulation and people have wider perspectives and more people getting involved. See, because y'all was doing y'all thing individually and now y'all are exposed to a much larger audience. So whether people agree with what y'all saying or not, much more people have the opportunity to listen to what y'all saying and make a decision now. Where before, they wasn't listening because they just had one idea. Oh, man, they just reading the Bible and talking that crazy stuff. So now, the way the brother presented himself,
that's where slavery started.
is a whole nother conversation surrounding Hebrew Israelites now created. Where people's interested, people want to get involved, people hitting me up like, yo, where they at? And
another thing though, again, everywhere that we've been seeing the whole debate and all of that, nobody's specifying ISUPK. Because y'all using the broad term Hebrew Israelite. When all Hebrew Israelites ain't the same. The ISUPK stands alone from a lot of different factions of Hebrew Israelites. And the problem is all of those factions left from the ISUPK because it was too militant, because it was too disciplined, because we demand a certain amount of integrity and honor from a man. So all these different groups, the reason why all the sickening things is going on in those groups is because the men that's leading them left the truth because they didn't have honor, integrity, and they couldn't maintain order and discipline. I mean, so that's the one thing, if anything, we got to beef with Hebrew Israelites. Why is it ain't polite versus the Hebrew Israelites? It's polite debates ISUPK.
Right.
And there's a big difference between ISUPK and the other Israelite groups.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
But more opportunity. And now y'all get an opportunity to explain that. And here's the thing. Since the whole entire Hebrew Israelite community doesn't have a spotlight on them, it's ISUPK, now y'all have a much louder voice to correct some of the people that, for instance, here's the thing. If you got the different fractions of the Hebrew Israelites, right? They might be somewhere like, name a different group. GSU or something they were talking about?
GMS.
GMS might set up somewhere where ISUPK is not. So it might be some young brothers that like the movement, like the things they hear and join GMS. But they don't know ISUPK exists. Now y'all got a larger platform to speak from. Brothers that's in them other factions could be like, oh, wait a minute. We didn't even know it was an option over there. Like, wait a minute, we like how them brothers is rolling over there. Let me.
But this is the thing, though. Quiet as kept. Anybody that's a Hebrew Israelite know about the ISUPK. But what they know about the ISUPK, them cats is militant. Them cats is in order. Them cats is structured. You can't just be willy-nilly and be in the ISUPK. If you in the ISUPK, you a soldier for the Most High in Christ to wake your people up. And so that means you ain't only going to be able to talk it, you're going to have to live it. You can't be talking about the Most High in Christ and how Esau is the devil and we need to change our lives and then banging white women or getting high smoking weed or telling cats it's okay to snort a little coke. You can't do that and stand for the Lord. If you're going to stand for the Lord, you're going to have to get all the way in it and put your life on the line. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the reason why people say that we intimidating or they look at us and we hustle, it's because we working out. That's because we in the field now. We ain't hitting the field because we just wake up like, oh, let's hit the field. It's an order. Be at the field 9 o'clock. Get ready to do this, get ready to do that. It's men that are responsible for us. And that's another thing that's in the black community is nobody want to be responsible for nobody else. In the UPK, there's men like Commander General Yohana who cared enough for brothers to have the responsibility to make sure that they maintain order. And make sure they maintain their serving the Most High and the reputation that men have given their life literally for. You can't just be in the UPK and be some cat that's out here smoking weed and popping holes and just living all any kind of way because word gonna get back. When word get back, you gonna get checked and you gotta get dealt with. You understand that how we deal with things is in the UPK. But you can't be an Israelite in the ISUPK and be just living your life any kind of way. That's why a lot of cats don't come to the UPK. That's why they go in these other groups because you can dress the way you want to dress and live the way you want to live, and when the camera ain't on you, you can do whatever you want to do. You see us, I don't care where we at, you're going to see like, oh, that's not the Israelite cats. You're going to see the way I'm dressed. You're going to be like, man, I see them fringes, that must be one of them Israelite cats. And really, that's what we need as a community, is people to care enough to be responsible for one another.
Excuse me, sir.
That's what we got the UPK.
How many members are part of the ISP UK?
ISUPK.
ISUPK.
ISUPK. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And when you say how many people are members, you gotta understand that everybody that come into the truth and change their lives is not meant to be a soldier. So there's a lot of brothers and sisters all around the country, or even over in England, that listen to our YouTube videos, that buy our CDs, buy our DVDs, they tune into our classes every week. But not every man is going to come in and be a soldier. On the front line. Not every sister is going to be
you probably a roundabout.
Okay, roundabout. If I want to say brothers that's on the front lines in the school.
And sisters, because I'm sure it's sisters and children too.
It's in the thousands. It's in the thousands. I couldn't give you no exact number. You know what I mean? Couldn't give you no exact number. But if you check out our YouTube videos, you check out our
Yeah,
classes.
what's up with
you know what I'm
y'all?
saying? Every day
Chilling,
online.
chilling. What's going on?
It's enough brothers and sisters that's waking up for us to be able to make a
happening?
difference. You know what I'm saying? So this whole thing with the debate, it's just like you said, more exposure, more people being able to wake up to the truth, and really that's what the Most High want.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the Most High want. But you gotta start. I guess it starts somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So us getting the exposure to now have ears open, and y'all in this platform. You know what I mean? It's just another way for brothers and sisters to be able to hear the truth and get them a second to realize that once you get past all the militancy and you get past all the strict manly stuff, then we really about loving our people. The only way we can do that is if our people
beautiful. Because that's why, like I said, the whole debate with your brother and Polite really changed my whole opinion on the debates, because it brings people together, and there's other things that happen behind the camera that people don't see on the camera. Because when you look on the camera, you see two people going at it with each other. But off the camera, you're missing maybe 200 or maybe even just 50, depending on how large the size is. People that came to watch them, they eating together, they fellowshipping, and now they're gonna have a values and morals conversation.
And that's what the conversation needs to be.
So it's like, okay, yeah, well, you know what, Light talking that economic shit, but you know, I ain't with that. You know, I think the sisters got to do this in the household, and no, because the brothers got to get their act together to be more responsible. They could have been talking about Drake and Nicki Minaj, but now they having a conversation about values, morals, and who has a better economic outlook, or vegan or not vegan, like just a whole, you know, the mentalities is going in a whole other direction. So yeah, and then that happens at all the BlackandNobels, quote unquote, all across the country, because you got one, I think, is a joint like this in Detroit. You know, they got the little pockets of consciousness popping up. So it becomes the national dialogue for us.
And you got Israelite schools. We got
right. And then, so the flip side is right. Now, all the Israelites are exposed to Polite's information, and you can comb through anybody's information and find jewels and nuggets. You know what I'm saying? So, and then not only that, now it's like, oh, okay, so wait a minute. It's some other cats. Like you said, you got a couple of cats in the Israelite camp that's on their health paradigm. Getting real conscious about, oh, okay, so wait a minute, let me check out. So I think what happens is as the conscious moral code becomes more popping.
And really, we just like
then that's when we get to see real a lot more change. Like Hawk was breaking it down to me. If you could get a shot of the books real quick. Hawk was telling me that these books used to drive the sales of the store. Like, so these books is where all the money used to come from. And and he would take this money and buy the knowledge books. But he said these sales done slowed down, and the knowledge done picked up to the point where now the profit of the knowledge books helps him to keep some of these books on the shelf for people that still want them. So that shows you right there, the general consensus amongst the people is changing.
For sure, we in desperate times. You know what I'm saying? The times we in, it calls for, like you said, people not to be comfortable no more.
That's the only time people change, though. Because I deal with health, and I tell people the right thing all the time, but it's not until they go see white folks. And the white man's like, listen, you got diabetes, don't worry about it. You take 2-3 of these needles a day, you'll be fine. Or we just gonna cut a few toes off. That's when they come back and they're like, oh, I'm ready to make a change.
That's
why I told you.
A lot of the health problems that we facing today is coming from the shit that the Lord said to do.
Not just the health problems,
everything is right there in that book. But if you're dealing with a cat who got elementary understanding, he gonna tell you that, you know, Adam and Eve were the first people on the planet.
Here's the thing. I think the elementary understanding, for the most part, there's exceptions to every rule, but for the most part, I think it's because people, we're proud by nature. So sometimes our pride, we use it to cover up ignorance. So what I mean by that is, people like to seem smart, but a lot of people have never read the Bible. Not even one time.
That's the problem.
And then they want to be heavy on it. It's like, dude, Have you read? I'm like, you ain't even have to study it. That's a whole nother level. But just have you just
See,
read
that's the
it.
thing. But that's why when people come on the street and they bring up something that we know, they bring it up because they don't know what they talking about. That's why we blaze on their ass. That's why you ain't gonna talk. We gonna talk over you because you ain't gonna teach about nothing you don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
You ain't gonna come to us and say, well, what about the this and that? And we like, come on, man, be quiet. You should be quiet right now. You should learn. And you should be quiet. And that's why, but a lot of people, like you said, they proud, they ain't humble, and everybody want to feel important like they know something. The reason, you want to know why a lot of people come up against us while we on the street teaching? Is because they want to get some shine. They want to be that cat that got in front of the Israelites. Like, just listen, just listen to what we're saying, and you'll get some understanding.
And this is the other comment I was making to cats that was mad about the polite video. I was like, look, when you the guy to beat, you gotta be, you gotta take that for what it's worth. Like when y'all on the street, people want to come see y'all and debate with y'all because y'all are the guys to beat. In New York City, it's impossible for you to say you never heard the Israelites. I don't know who, ISUPK, GMS, I don't know who it is. Ben Ami people, they out there. You done heard people getting busy out there. So you heard something different, and that's all you need to have an option.
See, what the issue that arises with all these different Israelite cats is you hear somebody on the street, and then you go in a classroom, and the cat teaching gonna hit your woman next week, and then tell you, well, brother, she told me she wasn't married and this and that. Well, that don't happen in the UPK. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because your woman ain't gonna come to our class in the first place. Right. If the sister married, you should send your husband. We'll teach your husband because we need men. Right. We need men to build this army. This is just good. It's just to come in and change their life. But we need soldiers. Right. So since you got a husband, tell your husband to come to class. We'll teach him, and then he'll go home and teach you. Right. That way,
put that
it ain't gonna be a bunch of women.
Put that thing right in the proper order.
That way, it ain't gonna be a bunch of women lusting after the man teaching her when it's her husband teaching her. Yeah. And any brother that got any type of knowledge, you teach your woman, there's nothing greater than the love she has for you when you teach her.
Let me tell you something. A lot of these guys is coming with certain doctrines because they have problems relating to women the way they're supposed to, and they don't get it. You know what I'm saying? If you could teach a woman, you could keep a woman. Period. Because everything else has it's time stamped. The sex in a long-term relationship is not going to be what keeps the woman with you. The money is not going to be what keeps a woman with you. It's her mind. If you can keep her mind, you can keep the woman with you. So a lot of things have to go back to the natural paradigm for us to be at peace with ourselves and enjoy life the way we're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? If you can't teach a woman, she's gonna find a dude that can. Period. Now, people could take it for however they want to take it, but if you don't have anything mentally to offer a woman, she's gone.
Well, that's why in the UPK we raise brothers up to be preaching prophets in their own home, to be teachers in their own home, because that's where it's taught. Like we said, how we gonna change the kids if ain't nobody teaching them? But the only way they get taught is if there's a man in the house to teach them. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna finish talking about King. You know what I'm saying? Get about it. What's your name again?
Enqi. What's up? Yeah.
Right off the Barnary sub-stop, Philadelphia, PA. Shot so loud you would think it was a club spot. African Americans, although we all over the web, we the hood librarians. We ship to prisons too. We reach out and deliver to those that's bitten too, but it's more than a bookstore. You want it, we got it. Mixtapes, DVDs, and culture products. BlackandNobel got our hands in a lot of projects. We welcome all to come build. The energy is positive. And remember, other teams is awake and conscious. Come through and experience this place of knowledge. They say they'll put it in a book if they wanna hide it from us, but we got them books so you can buy it from us. Something to read while you on a train or riding the bus. Get your read on, food for thought, get your eat on. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel. BlackandNobel.